What is happening, my friends? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your guy, your friend, Arrington Gavin. Look, this is your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or even the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. My friends, how is everyone doing? As always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chime in on the program. You could be doing so much other things with your daily life, but you taking the time just to listen in on the Aaron to Gavin show. Look, we are a very grassroots program. We continue to grow each and every day, thanks to you all, the listeners, the viewers out there. We're growing in our subscribers, we're growing in our listenership. I actually just got some follow up with one of our radio affiliates. So again, we're very grateful to the listeners out there that continue to support. It's this program is simple, man. We're just having a conversation, kicking back, grab yourself a drink, of your choice, by all means, and let's talk. And that's what this is. So um again, there's multiple ways you can tune into the platform. You can tune in by listening to us wherever you get your podcast, whether that's iHeart, Spotify, Apple, all major podcast platforms. You can also stream this program on YouTube as well as Rumble. Our YouTube channel is R Smooth Club Media, the letter R, then Smooth Club Media. You could just type in, or you could just type in the Arrington Gavin Show. Likewise on Rumble, the Arrington Gavin Show, you'll find us very easy there. You can also listen to us on our radio affiliate, WDJY 99.1 FM, straight talk out of the metro Atlanta area. We drop new episodes Monday through Fridays, weeknights. On our radio affiliate, WDJY, you can listen to us Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Okay, Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m., 91.1 FM, as well as WDJYFM.com. So multiple avenues, multiple ways you can catch up on the show. You can also follow us, stay in tune with us outside the show. If we because it so much stuff happens within an hour and it goes by so fast. So ways you can stay connected with me through our socials at the Arrington Gavin Show on Instagram as well as X. What else on Substack, which I'm actually going to share a little bit of our a piece that I put out on Substack today in regards to the Daniel Penny case, because people are still talking about it, man. It's a touchy subject, but again, it's a great convo, and that's what I like to have here on this program is great conversations. What else am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something else. Substack, Instagram, X. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, my friends. Look, so much stuff has happened, and we're gonna try and impact it all within this hour. We got some stuff in politics, stuff in sports, as well as some stuff in entertainment that we're gonna be sharing today. But before we move forward, I want to acknowledge some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Ingenious Gin. That's right, Ingenious Gin is a Black-owned, veteran-owned spirit with the unique spin of the original gin. This is the go-to spirit when you are celebrating. It's the gin of thinkers. Look, I've never been a gin guy myself until I've had Ingenious Gin. It's smooth. You can drink it neat. You can drink it on the rocks. You can have it in a cocktail. It is superb. So, my friends, if you're 21 and older, please go ahead to your local Spirit or ABC stores, grab yourself a bottle of Ingenious Gin, or you can visit them online at www.ingeniousgin.com. Again, that's www.ingeniousgin.com. I've provided, if you happen to be watching this program, I've provided a 20% off code. When you're at checkout, you can receive this code and just place that in there, and you can get 20% off. So it's all Gucci. It's all good. Be sure to drink responsibly. Don't be out here in these streets drinking like that it's like no tomorrow. Like, please drink responsibly. So we want to thank them for being a proud supporter and all of our supporters, man. That keeps the lights running, keeps us going here on the program. And look, my friends, if you are interested in joining the Arrington Gavin Show family, and you would love to advertise your business, and share, get your story sent out there. Look, do me a favor. You can easily follow DM me at the Arrington Gavin Show on on Instagram, or you can text us at 757-955-0656. Again, that is 757-955-0656. You can text us if you happen to be interested in advertising with us. Look, I'm a small business owner myself. I know how hard it is to get your brand out there, how hard it is, especially with cost wise. And look, again, I do not hit you with an arm and a leg. Being a fellow business owner, we have extremely reasonable, a very reasonable ad prices, man. And so we look out for the fellow small business owner out there. So I hope that you will think about it, take it into consideration, and again join the Arrington Gavin Show fan, because we are continuing to grow here on this program. Look, my friends, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have our fun fact of the day, as well as the start of our first topic. So do not go anywhere. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
What is happening, my friends? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your friend, your homie, Arrington Gavin. Be sure again to follow me at the Arrington Gavin Show. I truly appreciate it. Look, let's get it going with our tradition here on the program. Fun fact of the day. Here, where I get to just share a quick fact that not everyone probably knew about. Something that you can always keep in your hip pocket when trying to start a conversation with somebody. Hey, you might be on a blind date and be like, hey, look, I got a fun fact to share. Never know. So today's fun fact is, did you guys know in Switzerland, it is illegal to own just one guinea pig? I repeat that. It is illegal to own just one guinea pig. So it says here, because I want to read a little more in context. I feel like, okay, I can't just leave that for you all and be like, okay, well, explain, please. So I want to explain this. It says here, it's illegal to own a single guinea pig in Switzerland because they are social animals that need companionship. So Switzerland's animal welfare laws it considers it animal abuse to own just one guinea pig. So hey, you talking about some strict animal laws, in my opinion. But it makes sense. My wife and I, is funny. We're wrestling. Uh, we're in the process going back and forth of wanting a second dog. Now we're still very new in the parenthood stage as far as owning a dog together. Our dog, which is a very small dog, he'll be 2 years old very soon, and so he's still, I mean, he's a work in progress, right? He is potty trained. I'm grateful for that. I feel like that's the most important thing. He's potty trained. Um, he used to chew some of the woodwork. Um, but he's a very social dog. He's very he's wants to be on your lap 24/7. He doesn't want to be by himself. If he's by himself, all hell will break loose, and he rebels, right? So we're like, man, I would really want to get him, you know, a buddy to play with. So we're back and forth with the man. It's just, look, dogs are not cheap. Come on now, dogs are not cheap, and not even just the price, but the responsibility. And you think you're done after you purchase the dog, right? Because a lot of folks say, don't get it from a store because that's a mill. Get it, get it from a breeder. I look at it like this: y'all need to back off because, in my opinion, it's still a homeless shelter. Those dogs still need a home. So why would I ignore those pets? Because what's going to happen with them if no one gets them? All right. So, and where do they get them from? They probably get it from a breeder. So I'm just not that person that will drive 3 hours away or even longer to purchase a dog. I'll be damned. I be damned. I will go up the street to one of the local pet stores and I will see who's up for adoption. All right. That's how I bees. Okay. Work smarter, not harder. Um, and Carter, his name is Carter. He's been a blessing to us. He is a character. The whole family, he's really like the whole family dog. Because really, my family, we used to be surrounded. We used to have dogs in every single family household. As far my aunts had a dog, my cousins had a dog. Everybody, and everybody's dog has passed on, and it was hard for them to pursue getting another one. And Carter is like that single that dog. So we would love for Carter to have a partner in crime, and that's most likely we will. I don't know when, but it's just a matter on getting the finances right. You got pet insurance, food, all that stuff, training. It's a lot of freaking work. All right. Um, but anywho, that I can understand Switzerland. I understand it. Is it quite strict? Yes, to consider it animal abuse when really there's no harm being done to that animal. He's just lonely. Okay, but hey, I understand. I understand. Um Also, I wanted to share this before I get going in the topics. I want to get your take on this, guys, because my wife and I, a little fun story, a quick funny story. Um we were working at we have a trainer together we meet twice a week with. He's actually been a guest on the show. Shout out to Josh. He's been getting us in shape, man. We continue to be a work in progress, but he's awesome. He's one of the best of the best. um and so there's a two gentlemen that always works out in the same gym where we're at. The Normally the days when we're in, really nice guys. Look like they're both retired men, just trying to keep stay healthy and not try and lose any more years off their life. You know what I mean? Like just really trying to stay in shape. And so we always like to interact with them and stuff. And it was one point where it was a long period since we seen them. And so my wife starts off by saying, um, where we haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been? Did you have a surgery or something? Where have you been? And that was me impersonating my wife. She'll probably kill me for this. But when she said, where did you have surgery or something? Where have you been? The first thing that comes to my mind is like, I feel like that was like an ageist joke. Like that was you're telling me since they old, they must have been having a procedure or something. Yeah, I needed had a knee replacement or a hip replacement or a rotator cuff. Like why was that the first thing? And Lord God bless my beautiful wife. She's really not a sociable person like that. Like I'm more of the extrovert, she's more the introvert. But it was just we just laughed so hard because I'm like, babe, just say that they old. But I didn't tell them that. I waited until they left, and then the trainer and my wife, we all just started busting out laughing. So we always continue to tease her that, and that's an inside joke. So fast forward, I was at an event that I was hosting a red carpet at, and a gentleman who's a very famous musician was there, and when I first acknowledged him, I said, "Oh my goodness, my mother loves you. She's a huge fan. She's a huge fan." And my wife went back. She got back and said, "Wow, why don't you just call him old, huh? Why do you have to say that your mom, when you tell somebody that, hey, your mom is a huge fan of his, and it's like, wow, you don't listen to my music? Ah, gee, thanks. Tell her I said hello." Like, I had to rethink, and I'm like, damn, I hope he didn't take it, that way. But it is that is kind of like a typical, you know, quote unquote, like, you making me feel old when you say, "Hey, look, my mother loves you," or "My parents are huge fans," or, "Hey, I started listening to you through my grandmother," stuff like that. And it's like, God dang it. But then it's like, okay, do I say my kids love you? I mean, it's just like, you're familiar with that person, but I don't want to lie and be like, "Oh man, I listen to all your show." Because if I say I'm a fan, he gonna be like, "What's your favorite album?" And I'll be like, then I look really stupid, because then I get caught up in a lie saying I said I was a fan of yours, but I don't know any of your songs. So it's just like, it just off the top of the dome. I'm like, okay, my mom's a huge fan, because it's true, and I've seen him perform before. He's a great performer, by the way. And so I just wanted to ask you guys that, like, have y'all ever got caught up in a moment where you were caught up kind of being a little ageist, or just, calling somebody old without calling them old, and they, to their face? Like, has that ever happened to you? And for me, I didn't feel like I was insulting him, but it's like, what other better way could I have changed that out? So look, if y'all do me a favor, please DM me at the Arrington Gavin Show, or leave a comment below on this video, or on this episode. You please leave a comment and share some of your thoughts on what should I have said? How could I make this up and do better? Let's see. Let's move it on as I digress from that. All right. So I want to talk more about this Daniel Penny case, because, and I'm talking about the case involving the Marine, 26 years old, who was arrested initially. Let me read you a little more. So, the recent non-guilty verdict in the trial of Daniel Penny, who faced charges in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely, has reigned a national debate about accountability, mental health, the boundaries of self-defense. The case, which centers on an altercation in the New York City subway that happened in May of 2023, raised pressing questions about a social societal responsibility towards marginalizing individuals and the complexities of public safety. So let me play you just quick soundbite. This is from News Nation's Leland Vitter. His show, I believe, is called On Balance. Regularly, the network will have Bill O'Reilly on. He's a political commentator. If you don't recall, he was a very known figure during the original Fox News days. He he was at the highest rated show on the network, and he has since then he was let go. And hold on, let me try and give me 1 second, my friends. I'm gonna see what's having a little technical difficulties. Let me try this one more time. We're gonna get this going. Let me see if I can pull it up now. There we go. Wonder what is that all about? Bill O'Reilly is a controversial guy. He is considered I would say a a right leaning independent. Again, he's been a very controversial person, and he leans more on the conservative side of things. Here's what he had to just a few things he had to say in regards to this case, this Daniel Penny case. So let me go ahead and play the soundbite for you, and then we'll talk on the other side.
Acquitted 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, I do. There was so much reasonable doubt in the case that you would have to be O.J. Simpson juror to overlook the reasonable doubt. O.J. Simpson was guilty. The jury knew he was guilty. I covered the case. They knew it, but they didn't want to convict the black man. It was all based on race. And once you get into that, there's a component of race in the Daniel Penny thing, but it hasn't caught on. And that is a relief. It has not caught on because most decent, fair-minded people know. They tried, but the minority community in New York did not respond to that because they're in danger too. They're in danger too. They know, they see.
So that was, I listened to it pretty heavy because the conversation obviously comes race. That's probably the most broadening question that has been put out there to the masses was race. And the reason why race was put out there was Daniel Penny was a white male. The gentleman that lost his life, Jordan Neely, was a black man that suffered with mental illnesses, very, very, very bad mental illnesses. And folks have been responding saying that, well, now this case gives an open season pass on those who want to just go out there and start killing black men, quote unquote, saying that, you said that they have an issue. Oh, that's a lie. No, that's not true. So that's the case as far as the conversation of race. And I was actually again listening to Dan Abrams, who's also actually a anchor on the network, but I was actually listening to his SiriusXM show, and he had a co-founder of the Black Lives Matters movement, Greater New York, on, and they were debating the race aspect of this, and both of them made great points. Don't get me wrong, but I do feel like he caught the co-founder of Black Lives Matter movement, he caught her against the corner. Really, he had her against the corner because there were some points where I'm just like, you can't specifically say this is all on race. And look, I am a supporter of the movement, of the cause. I might not be a fan of who's in charge because their record is showing them getting a lot of trouble financially, except taking money from that are really donations. And so I'm not a huge fan of the leadership roles, but I'm a fan of the movement and the cause. But in this case, let's bring up so many different points in here. So you have a former Marine, 26 years old, sees what witnesses have said, a man getting irate with other pedestrians on a subway. Now they've interviewed white individuals and black individuals. They were saying that he was doing this, saying, I'm not scared to die, I'm not this to die. And they were scared, they were nervous, they were scared. What does he do? He takes matters in his own hands, wants to be the hero, takes the guy down, put him in a chokehold. Now, here's the thing. When you really sink in a chokehold, experts have said this. This is just not me. You have to about a max of 30 seconds. By the time they really start, this man was choking him for almost 4 minutes, almost 5 possibly. And so people are like saying, okay, when are you going to let go? If he's down, there end up being some other guys that was assisting Daniel Penny. Why did he continue to to choke him out. And that's the issue that a lot of folks have. Now, I spoke it on the show before. I personally think that I don't think this man's initial plan, talking about Daniel Penny's, was to go out and kill somebody. I do not think that. I think that he thought he was doing the right thing, and I think it eventually it backfired on him. That being said, at the end of the day, a life was lost. So there should be consequences because of that. There was no weapon found on the guy. There was no weapon. So once again, an unarmed black man loses a life. But here's where I can, here's where I'll play a devil's advocate. A man who is suffering with mental illness will get loud and irate. I've been around, individuals with issues, but you ignore them, and then on top of that, you just don't look at them as a threat. Now, here's the thing. There's witnesses that said they looked at him as a threat because when you start yelling out those terms, you just don't know. You just don't know. You interact with so many folks, and I've been on a subway many times too before, but you really just don't know. So in that case, when you see folks looking very fearful, like someone's gonna pursue. But here's the thing. I'm the person where wait until law enforcement, until somebody is physically hurt or gets hurt, then respond and do what you gotta do to help defend yourself. But in that case, he didn't harm anybody. He might have scared some folks, but he didn't harm anybody. Have you ever felt comfortable around, a person with mental issues out in the open? No, you never felt comfortable, but nor have you ever felt like he was threatening your life. It's a bunch of people against one person, and there was no weapon found. So let me read a little more. Okay, so this is Penny's defense and the jury's verdict. Okay, I've mentioned he was a former Marine, a 26-year-old, so he wasn't in there for long, claimed that his actions were a response to perceive a threat. Witness described Neely, a homeless man with a history of mental illness, as behaving erratically and making threats, but not physically attacking anyone. So he was making the threats, but he wasn't physically attacking anybody. Now, if you make a threat towards an officer, I'm pretty sure that's a crime. That is a crime. And it's a crime. Well, not just officer, anybody. That is a crime. You'll get reprehended. You don't lose your life for it, but you will get spoken with, or most likely you will get arrested for that. Let me see here. Penny's defense argued that his intervention, though tragic, was intended to protect fellow passengers, and the jury agreed. Because remember, this case, they kept on going back and forth. They couldn't make a decision. Now, however, the verdict has polarized public opinion. Supporters see it as a validation of Penny's right to act in self-defense in a chaotic situation. That is what scares a lot of folks, because we live in a world now, y'all. Everybody think they Rambo. Everybody think bump having the police. I'm gonna take matters into my own hands. That's why I've said here many times, I'm not a fan of open carry. I'm a fan of protecting your household, but I'm not a fan of open carry if you're not an officer, or if you're not a person from the law. I'm not a fan of that. I'll just be honest. And I have a lot of friends that are gun owners, open carry. Look, and I love them to death, but that's just something that we disagree on. Let me see here. Where am I here? Critics, meanwhile, argue that it reflects systematic failures, both in the justice system and in how society treats vulnerable populations like Neely. Now, here's my thing. If this man, again, he was homeless, and that's a whole nother issue on, taking care of the homeless rate, but mental illness, man, why is he out there by himself? Because here's why I'm a bit pissed too. He had a family. During the court case, Neely's father spoke up, and his attorney. Now, my heart goes out to the father, because at the end of the day, he lost his child. But in his case, he probably couldn't afford to take care of him. He probably couldn't. I'm just saying, if it's somehow, and I don't know, somehow there is a situation how if a person is unstable to take care of themselves, then you have to have a legal guardian. Um, let's speak on. I'm trying to think, trying to see if I want to share this. Uh, so okay, so check. Here's a broader context of the mental health and the race piece. Now, Jordan Neely's life, and death highlighted the neglect faced by individuals with untreated mental illness, particularly those in communities of color. Neely, who struggled with schizophrenia, had a history of arrest and was known to out outreach workers. His death underscores the lack of robust mental health resources responsible, excuse me, especially for those who are unhoused. Critics are, critics of the verdict pointed out that Neely's race may have played an unspoken role in the public and legal perception of the case. Now, what Bill O'Reilly and Leland Vitter was speaking on, especially Bill O'Reilly, he was saying of a few years back, uh, uh, Penny would have got arrested. Now, here's where I disagree with that. Don't act like there hasn't been unarmed black men that has lost a life off stupidity from whether if it's law enforcement or just somebody that thinking they were of the law. Like don't act like, don't ignore it, and don't think like it's just some some kind of uh what's the word I'm looking for? Like some kind of trend. Oh, they must like. I mean, he brought up the OJ thing, which was in the 90s. Leland asked him 3 years ago. He brings up a case that was freaking 20 plus years ago, 29 almost to be exact. He brings up OJ Simpson saying, "Oh, if he wasn't black, then this one and the other. Because he was black, that's why he got it off." And this and that. Look, let's just be upfront, y'all. Let's just be upfront. Race did not play a part in this case. Like it or love it, I hate the fact that an innocent life was lost, because I believe the man still should have served some consequences because a life was lost. He never eased. There's a time when okay, I got this guy down, then let go. Everybody knows that. You know why? We have a freaking league called MMA, UFC. Now, yes, they have a ref in there to say, okay, stop. But when that hand goes down, you let go. But even if he trust me, there were moments where he was trying to get out. But when you know that you already have a guy down, come on. Just put your body weight on. You already got a bunch of people that are backing you up, and wait until the cops come. Everybody's not supposed to be a hero. You are already a hero just by taking care of the situation, by calming a dude down that seemed in your eyes a threat to other folks. I say his eyes because I wasn't physically there. But here's the thing. You don't know in cases, in the heat of the moment. You just don't know. My thing is with Daniel Penny, you're 26 years old, you're a young guy. Now, I don't know how long he was in the military, but they said former Marine. He holds that on his chest saying, hey, look, I'm always going to still be a protector of the people by all means necessary. I still think that if the man did not harm anybody, he should not have lost his life. He should not have lost his life. And people are going to continue to be pissed. I do think that the Black Lives Matter movement out in that area, I think I don't think they need to be going. So I just think this is like added ammunition for them. But I personally don't think race played a part in here. I honestly do not. I'm not a person that will always say racist. I mean, that's just me. That's just me. Does it exist? Hell yes. I mean, it definitely does. Did it play a role in this recent election? Absolutely. Was the majority reason? No. No. Did it play a role though? Yes, it played some part in. So I'm just giving you my 2 cents on the whole, race thing. Now I have it right here, race or reality, because reality shows that in a case like this, somebody's gonna side, not gonna side with the person with mental illness, because it's gonna be hard for them to defend themselves. And on top of that, the guy is deceased and he's homeless. I mean, it's really hard for them to really defend themselves. Now the public can continue to defend themselves because they have been, for since May of 2023. But that's just the way it goes, man. That's just the way it goes. I'll follow up a little more with this story. Before I head to a quick commercial break, my friends, I want to let's see. I want to leave you with a couple of questions before I move on. Was Neely's death avoidable? Was Neely's death avoidable? First question. Second question I want to ask, could Penny have de-escalated the situation without resorting into lethal force? Just keep those two questions in mind. Think more on it. Then let me know what you think. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take a commercial break. We'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin show. Don't go anywhere, my friends. We have a lot more in store for you. So kick back, relax, and we'll be right back. All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Look, on our next up on the show, so check this out. Chris Rock, comedian, actor, entertainer, former Will Smith slap victim. I guess he's an advocate now for all people that have gotten slapped publicly on Oscar stages. He should, it's a foundation. That Chris Rock. Everybody hates Chris. Yeah, that Chris Rock. So he recently made headlines for storming off of a comedy set at a recent event. And the question is, like, why, Chris? Why did you storm off? Why'd you storm off of a set? So this is reported by Yahoo Entertainment. I'm reading this right now. It says here that he reportedly stormed out during a comedy set at a billionaire's holiday party after getting upset. So again, why was he upset? What happened? It says here that recently the comedian shocked attendees at billionaire's Anthony Pratt's exclusive holiday party when he abruptly ended his comedy set and angrily stormed off the stage. Now, Rock was reportedly joking about the country's political state when he saw something the audience did not, which prompted him to take off without explanation. Now, the incident comes after Chris Rock came under scrutiny when he chillingly joked he made about Sean Diddy Combs teaching kids wrong from wronger resurfaced online. Now, Rock reportedly got annoyed about an incident and angrily stormed off stage while performing at Anthony Pratt's party. Now, Pratt, executive chairman of Pratt Industries, had invited the comedian to perform at the VIP studded soiree for the Christmas party in Australia, but had to see him perform a very short set in protest to being recorded on tape. According to the New York Post gossip columnist Cindy Adams, Rock saw something the audience did not, and that whatever he saw upset him. Like he went momentarily ape and shouted something like he wasn't supposed to be taped, videotaped, reported, or whatever else wasn't supposed to happen, the news outlet reported. Now, Rock allegedly didn't complain, didn't explain, didn't do one more minute before leaving, and was said to have been barreling quickly, forcefully through people to exit doors. He kept I can't say the term, but without seconds hesitant stormed out, never to return. Here's my thing. I've gone to a lot of comedy shows. A lot. I consider myself a regular attendee because I love stand-up comedy. It's the best medicine that you will ever have. I love to kick back and just laugh until my ribs hurt. One thing, there's a rule at comedy shows is do not record or take pictures during sets. All right. The reason, I can think of a couple. First thing I can say is that those comedians, when they record, they're already being recorded by the venue that they're at, because that's added material that they need to either help put out a comedy special, or they want to make sure their jokes are safely put in that room. They can care less if somebody might from that crowd has a good memory and can remember all those jokes, but they really like their jokes private, because it will kill them to see if another comedian got access to a clip and said, okay, boom, I'm gonna copy everything word for word, because that exists. Also, if a comedian is currently touring to basically promote an upcoming comedy special on a mainstream network, they don't want you to already put out some jokes that might be on that upcoming special. And then the last thing I can also think of is, hey, look, one simple flash of a camera or a phone, it distracts them, throws them off their game, and then the whole set is screwed. So that's just my thing on no phones allowed. I've been to so many sets. I was at a Wanda Sykes comedy show when she was it was during the season where she had a new special coming out, and we had to put all of our devices in in some kind of a pouch that we could not open until the end of the show. Make sure the phones will turn off. Boom, they take your phones. I mean, that is a regular. So even though this wasn't in a comedy club or anything, it was still a comedy show setting. It was a set, so show respect. I just think that which I already know, if Chris Rock was already paid and you gave the man a short set, I just think I'm still gonna give I'm gonna give them what they paid for. Acknowledge that, hey, please can you not take pictures and all that other stuff? I really appreciate it. If they continue to rebuttal and keep on doing it, then hey, look, I understand what I'm saying. Look, if y'all do it again, I'm gonna walk off the stage and knock it back. Just the fact that he just walked off and just kept on going, I mean, come on. I mean, it's just it probably what's supposed to be taped was probably within his contract with the billionaire, but the fact that everybody else did not know any details is I don't know. I just think there's a certain way to to do things, especially coming from Chris Rock, because look, Chris Rock is a person that could have easily responded to what's his name, damn it, what's his name? Will Smith. After he got slapped, but he didn't. He said, you know what, I'm being a better man. I'm not gonna respond to that, especially on the Oscars when everybody's watching, because I love my brand, okay, and I'm not a fighter like that. So, he played it cool. So you would think he was, more, but hey, obviously it shows that he's not. It shows that Chris is not, and he does not care if everybody hates him. Literally, he's like, I do not care. Let me go ahead and digress from that story and move it on to, let's see, what do I want to move it to? Let's go ahead and move it to the case regarding, let's see here, regarding the suspect found in the killing of United Healthcare's CEO. Let me go ahead and share that soundbite for you. Let me see. Where is it at? Where's it at? Did I not? Oh, it looks like I didn't. Dang it. I didn't have a header for that. But let me play you this soundbite. The gentleman's name was recently found in Pennsylvania, but he obviously is found he was arrested on the charges of killing, and his it is surveillance and his videos showing him. He was in Pennsylvania, and I think he's getting charged in New York and Pennsylvania as well. So this right here, I'm reading from the Associated Press, says suspect in the killing of the United Healthcare's CEO struggles shots out while entering a courthouse. So his gentleman's name is Luigi Nichols Mangione, I believe that's his name. 26-year-old Ivy League graduate, guys. 26-year-old Ivy League graduate, where some of his friends had considered him very friendly, nice guy. This is a shocking thing to see. Says here that there was a 5-day search for his arrest. Obviously, they ended up finding him in a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. And he emerged from the patrol car shining out. And I'll share a little more of the video first, and I'll read it in context just in case we can't hear it through that video. Let me go ahead and play this for you. Hold tight.
Completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
We could make out, he said, that something was an insult to the intelligence of the American people.
And completely out of touch.
So that was a anchor from CNN that was kind of putting it more into contents of what was being said from that gentleman. Here's the sad part, y'all. Some folks are looking at this guy, a killer, by the way, as a hero because he took the life of a gentleman who worked for a healthcare company, and he was a higher up exec in a healthcare company. Now, here's where, again, people will always say, where did America's moral compass? Let me tell you something. The moral compass, I don't even think was ever there for America, because this is crazy. This right here from TMZ says here that GoFundMe pools all pro Luigi Mangione. Okay, I'm gonna just say Luigi's campaigns. People were gonna send money for this guy because they looked at him as a hero. Now, here's the thing. The hatred towards healthcare companies, I don't even think is a left or a right thing. There's folks that just, you work for the healthcare companies, you get a bad rep regardless. No one likes healthcare companies. No one likes the fact that, okay, I have to have this surgery, but I'm not getting covered, but I'm paying you guys this amount of money. Especially, I actually had a conversation with some of my friends from another podcast, actually co-host In Your City. Be sure to please follow In Your City 2 on Instagram, as well as listen to us on all podcast platforms, YouTube, the whole 9 yards. my co-host and producer, Mr. Cam Godley, shared that United Healthcare recently just made about $30 billion in profit. And it's like, okay, if you made this kind of money and I'm somebody that's nowhere near that, and I'm over here, okay, I need this and it's not being covered, but yet you guys are making more money and I'm losing. It's the math is not mathing. The math is not mathing. And then there was something, and I forgot which company. And forgive me if I'm kind of paraphrasing here. I'm just trying to remember what was said. But when one healthcare company would not pay for like a certain amount of anesthesia when you're in surgery. Like, here's my thing. You do know that emergencies can happen when you're under the knife. So if that requires more anesthesia, when that person fully recovers and then they look at this bill like, what the hell did this come from? That is so unfair. And so many folks are pissed. This guy, Luigi, I don't know what his story is. I don't know if he's a part of that group, but this man snapped and he decided to take matters in his own hands to take out a life of somebody, which is sickening. This man planned a whole strategy on how he was going to take out this CEO, had a silencer on his gun, and it's sick. It is sick. Let me read a little more contents for you. So again, the suspect, 26-year-old Ivy League graduate from a prominent Maryland real estate family, is fighting attempts to extradite him to New York so that he can face a murder charge in Manhattan, killing of Brian Thompson, again, United Healthcare's CEO, who led the United States' largest medical insurance company. A law enforcement bulletin obtained, the Associated Press said that at the time of his arrest, Luigi was carrying a handwritten document expressing anger with what he called parasitic health insurance companies and a disdain for corporate greed and power. He wrote that the U.S. has the most expensive healthcare system in the world and that profits of major corporations continue to rise while our life expectancies does not, according to the bulletin. Now, in a social media post, he called the Unabomber Ted Kaczynski. I'm having difficulties pronouncing that name, who carried out a series of bombings while railing against modern society and technology, a political revolutionary, according to the police bulletin. He also he currently remains in jail in Pennsylvania, where he was initially charged with possession of an unlicensed firearm, forging, and providing false identification to police. I hope this man rots in jail. That's all I'm going to say. I hope he rots in jail. Folks, you can be angry, but don't ever go to this verge of how this man, I mean, he is, it just, wow, it's scary. And it's even more scary the fact that we have folks out there that consider him a hero. That's what scares me. It scares me for other folks that work in healthcare. Like it's scary. That's a scary situation. Scary situation, especially with a guy that never had anything on his case to this magnitude. That's all I can say, y'all. Where's our moral compass? Shame on you for those who even put in a cent to his original GoFundMe page. Shame on you. Shame on you. And guess what? I hope justice will be served. I hope prayers go out to the family of Brian Thompson, because they're heading, head into the holiday season with news that they would never want anybody to face, even their worst enemy, to have with them. It's just y'all, America has to do better. That's all I'm gonna say. America has to do better. How am I looking with time? I got about a little less than 5 minutes left, man. I'm gonna digress from this story. And this will be an ongoing conversation and ongoing story because this is very, 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 very new. But I want to share this real quick. I know I'm pressing with time. To end it on a lighter note, I want to shout out former NFL star Teddy Bridgewater. I want to shout out Teddy Bridgewater. He's a former NFL quarterback. I remember, he was a hell of a player when he was playing in the league. I think he played for a total of 10 years, maybe 10 or 11. His last season was with the Detroit Lions, where they went on a historic run in the playoffs. And I just wanted to shout him out because he is about to potentially win a title. He's heading to his first ever. He's heading to his first ever state championship title because he's a head coach of a high school football team. It's his first time. Guess what? It's just his first year. 3A state title in his first year. As he, let's see, coaches a high school in Miami Northwestern. All right, Miami Northwestern. And it will be. I mean, look at the scores here. This was from the previous game that he had played. 40-0. 40-0. I mean, these scores, man. These scores are huge. Huge. Now there was some conflict in the past saying that it might be some issues with the eligibility on some of the players that he has on that squad. I've heard one story about that. I haven't seen that escalate. So obviously, people are just complaining the fact that they're losing games against him. Maybe he's just that guy. Maybe he's just that kind of that great coach. Maybe he's just that guy. And see, that's kind of been the new norm for players post NFL careers. We've seen Jason Witten coach in high school. I think he's had back-to-back either championship winning seasons. We've seen we obviously see Teddy Bridgewater. We've seen Trent Dilfer, former Super Bowl winning quarterback. He went from high school to college in a very quick turnaround too. We see a lot of guys do so. Look at Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders used to coach high school at a local private school in the Texas area, and that obviously went on to have a huge career as a head coach. He had a great career in the HBCU circuit. Now he's in the PWI with the University of Colorado, doing great stuff. Potentially, you might be seeing him in the NFL coaching one day. We just don't know. I see a lot of coaches getting fired. I see a lot of his players doing great, and a lot of his a lot of his stars are entering the draft. I think one of his sons is entering into the draft as well. So we will see. We will see, my friends. But y'all, my time is getting slim here. We'll have some more stories that I wanted to share with you. We'll have to share with you another time on the next go round. But until then, look, y'all, thank you so much for continuing to tune in and support the Arrington Gavin show. We are a growing show, and as you know, I've shared the great news on our social media. We received our first ever award, Best Podcast for the 2024 Blendsville Awards. Best Podcast 2024 Blendsville honor. We are so thrilled. Our first ever award, y'all. We are officially an award-winning podcast. So couldn't be more excited about that. Continue to tune to the Arrington Gavin show Monday through Fridays, weeknights at 11 p.m. on WDJY 99.1 FM, as well as all podcast platforms and the streaming platforms of YouTube and Rumble. I will see you next time, my friends. Stay safe out there. Peace and blessings. Your boy is out.